All right, welcome to another market update. Today is October 15, 2017. As you can see on this Dow Jones weekly chart here, the market hit a new all-time high once again last week. You can see that right now it's still, forging higher, and it booked this long-term channel here that I have. Starting out from the low of 2009. And in addition to that, we also got the transportation came up and made a all-time high and confirmed the Dow Jones new all-time high based on the Dow theory. And again, on this particular price channel, it seems like the transportation still could move further higher, although a lot of people basically are looking on a Friday that engulfing candle reversal from the Thursday all-time high. But that is to be seen what is going to play out and how it's going to play out. But for now, the main message that we got from the transportation is that it kind of tells us we should expect the possibility that the Dow Jones Industrial will likely make another all-time high. Although on Friday it tagged a new all-time high, but it did not close with a new all-time high. I believe it closed maybe a point or so shy of the all-time high close. So we're gonna still keep a close eye on that. And again, a lot of people is calling tops and everything, and although we know it's nothing new, we know that the market is overstretched, in terms of price movement. But looking at the internal, that kind of tells the different story. So we remain, short term, a little bit cautious of a possible pullback, but I think there's still more upside to come. That's at least what the internals and the stuff that I watch kind of tells me. So again, I'm just an interpreter of what I see based on the stuff that I watch. So I could always be wrong. All right. So with that said, looking at the S&P 500, these are all cash indexes. So again, you can see that it is also, just kind of sneak out from the price channel here. And it is still doing a one-time framing up on a weekly basis. So we still expect to see a little bit more upside. And same thing here with the NASDAQ 100. Remember, we were saying that we're expecting NASDAQ 100 to make a new all-time high as we see the FANG stock kind of when it wakes up. And we certainly saw some of that activity last week. And you can see that the NASDAQ has also come up to this upper price channel here. Okay. And then the Russell 2000, it did pull back a little bit, but nothing to write home about. And we'll take a look at that on the IWM a little bit more. It is tagging or getting close to this upper trend line here on this price channel, this long-term price channel. And finally, the New York Stock Exchange Composite also hit a new all-time high, and that's very important because that basically is based on the index based on all the stock traded in the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, and you can see that made a new all-time high as well last week, and it's still within this price channel, and it seems like there's still more room to move up if it is going to try to come up and tag this upper boundary of this price channel. Okay, so that's basically the indexes, the cash indexes. So let's go and take a look at the ETF on the daily. Let me take this out here so we won't bother with getting update. Okay, so let's go and look at the diamond first, and you can see the diamond came up. It did close at a new all-time high on the diamond, but the cash index itself did not. Because if we take a look at the cash index, the Dow Jones, here's the new the previous closing high is 22,872.90, and we closed 871.70. All right, so it's about 1.2 points away from the all-time closing high. All right. And let's go back to the diamond. So the diamond here is continue to move up, and we can see, remember we were talking about the possibility that if it pushed through this 200% extension, essentially we're looking at this particular extension here, right? This swing here, and you know, project this thing up to this 2618, then it will be 231, right? And we also have another one that's basically based on the you know, the pullback. We're looking at the possibility that this could be the you know, the peak of this this swing up. As you can see that it is not. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this over here. Let me make sure that I do have a snap here. So we get to snap it on the price that I want. Okay, so let's say we're going to see a pullback on Monday and start coming back, and this now becomes the peak of this swing. Then on a pullback, if it's 618, it'd be you know, somewhere around 224.66 area, and the 50% will be 225. Okay, so so we just kind of keep an eye on these level, but I think this thing is heading higher. Wouldn't be surprised to see it maybe you know, pulling back to this level here, this 227. You know, maybe a possibility of doing this, and then try to target this 231. All right. So and on the SPY, I will put up the open interest, updated open interest chart, or at least get a little glimpse at it later on. But at the data that I got after the Thursday close, I didn't update it with the Friday close. It does indicate the SPY could pull in at I believe it's let me go and get that. See what I see here on the Wednesday. We could come back down, you know, possibly maybe a pin at 254. Okay, that's a Wednesday pin, the 18. 254 with a possibility that it could push down to 252. Okay, so essentially if we are looking at the SPY, I mean, it could possibly come down here on Wednesday to pin, or if it really get a little bit of a more dramatic pullback, it could come down to this 252 area, which is the 1618. So kind of keep an eye on that. That's a possibility. Like I said, I have not updated with the latest OI, so I'm just looking at the data after the Thursday close. Okay, so so that's the SPY, and if it continue to push up, it could get up to this 259. So essentially, maybe the cash index will get up to that you know, 2600 level, and all the headline news will be flagging that nice round number 2600. Okay, that might be the play. So anyway, that's only conjectures in my part. So you know, right now we're just kind of guessing, just like everybody else. Okay, so that's the SPY, and let's take a look at the Q. The QQQ, we're talking about that it's you know, come up and make new high, and continue to push higher. So you can see that right now, although we got a little bit of a hangman doji here, right? You know, and so we might see a little bit of a pullback, but still continue to see this thing pushing high because the earnings season is coming up, and Netflix is scheduled to report. I believe it's on Monday, and then you got you know, Amazon, Apple, and all those guys to follow. So unless the earning post-earning move is down, then they'll probably get a substantial pullback on the Q. But other than that, you know, they could either, you know, pull it back before the earning or run it up. prior to earning report. So those are kind of price action we have to keep an eye on and see what the Q is gonna do. But again, wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a pullback early next week and possibly continue to push higher as the end of the week approach. That would be one scenario. Okay. So, and here's IWM, the Russell 2000 ETF, and again we see a little bit of a consolidation here. Maybe start a little bit of a flag, and if it come down to this 147.76, wouldn't be too surprising or too alarm about that. But I do expect this thing possibly break through and maybe come up and tag this 154 eventually. Yes, I do not have a time machine or crystal ball to tell you when. I could only take a look at the price action and what the market tell us that what is most likely intention or probable intention. Okay, and that's all we could do. If anybody could tell you on specific time of the day or the year or whatever that the market will hit a certain level, then they are full of what. Okay, so I'm just being a little bit polite. Okay, so that is the ETF. And let's go look at the FANG stock and start off with Facebook. Remember Facebook, we're talking about that as soon as it get above this this level here, we're essentially looking for Facebook to come up and test its recent high. And as you can see that it is making its way up. It tried to get above that. So now we got a little bit of a trap long here, and then got these that and now we also trap some shorts. So essentially right now there might be a little bit of a sell-off right now. We saw this, maybe some of these weekend long here is bailing out, minimizing their costs, the losses, and taking their money back. And I wouldn't be surprised that we'll see Facebook to make a new all-time high. So continue to watch for Facebook to make a new all-time high. And this zone here is what I put down: price zone at potential support level and potential resistance zone. All right, so if you just kind of to facilitate key levels to watch or area to watch for potential breakdown or breakout, and then you could use your discretion to set your stop and set your target level or whatever, or entry level. Okay, so that's basically what they are when I put those things on. And like this zone here, we basically was looking at this some price action here. Want to get down here and for potential entries. Okay, and here's the Apple. And again, I want to say once Apple get to this zone, then we're basically looking for this thing to come back up to retest maybe possibly this 160 area. It's 159.99. So I got this zone here. There's some some high volume activity here, so there could be a little bit of resistance here. And if we could push through here, there's some also trap long here that might want to bail out. So kind of gotta watch these the zone here. And this is the zone. If it pull back and dip below this 154.89, then if you're long, you might want to consider placing some kind of protection down at those level there. Maybe potential stop there possible. Okay, so we're still looking for Apple to come through and see how it behave when it get into this price range here next week, and see would it be able to push right through. Okay, right now it is working on a inside coil on this big engulfing candle here. All right, and here's Amazon. We were saying Amazon, watch for this zone. When it get to here, then we'll basically look for the possibility of getting back up and possible filling out this gap. All right, and we will start looking at Amazon was down here. Okay, for the possible movement back up to this $1,000 level, which is in this zone here. So right now we're basically looking for Amazon to continue to move up. We wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a pullback and retest this area here before it make continuous move up to possibly try to fill this gap here. Okay, and here's Netflix. We say Netflix is looking strong, and it's you know, moving up, and then got a little bit of a pullback, and also getting a little bit of a you know, hangman type of a doji here, spinning top here, so got to be careful here. We could see a little bit of a pullback there as well for Netflix. But again, you know, these are the levels that we're looking at right now, monitoring, you know, the 202.79 and the 204.35. Those are Fibonacci extension level. Okay, and then on the if we pull back, you know, we'd be looking at this 191.50 once again for potential tests. So got to be careful in watching that. If this if it pull back and break through this, definitely we want to wait, you know, for next potential trade entry. Okay, whether it's long or short. But right now, basically, if you're holding long, then you might want to you know, trail your stop up. Okay, and then finally Google, we're saying Google at Never Never Land, and we're basically looking for this thing to come up, hit new high, which it did, and so could be a little bit of a shooting star, but we'll see. Again, you know, because we also have some extension up here at 1030. Okay, 1030. That's the next potential target here. Okay, if it's gonna pull back, it could pull back and retest this 991.80, right? This area here. So just kind of keep an eye on that, because it is pushing into a new all-time high. All right, those are the FANG stock, and let's take a look at Twitter. Twitter been also, we'll talk about Twitter been strong, and you can see that it came down and held this you know, 1650 area, and now it pushed through that 1850, right? You know, so so we're gonna see we'll be able to come up and fill this gap. And I said if this gap gets filled, then it could come up to this you know, this pivot high here somewhere around 2088. So you kind of keep an eye on that, because it is in a little bit of a trend here, right? Let me take this off. Okay, it is on a trend here, right? Okay, so it's making a little bit of a series of high and low, especially this near term. Okay, right. So so we'll see how it behave. Would it be able to push through, because it's been a while. This is, I believe, that was the last post-earning report gap down. So beware, the earning is also coming up for Twitter, so just kind of keep an eye on that, and let's see would it be able to fill this gap and run it up run it up before earning again, and see what it will do. Maybe it will catch people off guard this time, and it will come up and fill this big gap here. Wouldn't that be fun, huh? Anyway, let's take a look at gold, GLD. Right, we see, you know, GLD came down to these levels that we're watching for potential price action, and you can see it came down to this 120.65 and got a nice snapback here. So right now it seems like it want to, you know, resume its trend, because we're looking at this as a, you know, bigger picture, right? Right, because you know, we're talking about this as a long-term, long trend type of a play based on you know, macro and geopolitical, right? So you know, we basically looking at this. It's still, you know, holding above the, you know, breaking above this trend line here, and right now I think the critical point here is this 1331. I mean 131.15. This pivot high here. If we get to that, then you can see that it could be a sort of long-term inverted head and shoulder, right? Okay, then you could do your major move. All right, so let's see what that is all about. Okay, for example, let's just get a rough estimate on what that major move is. Okay, so, and that could be 162.17, essentially up here somewhere, if we are doing a major move of that inverted head and shoulder. All right, so that would be something to watch if it occurs. Okay, so that's gold. And let's follow up on a couple financial stocks that we looked at last week. One is BofA, which reported earnings on Friday, and you know, got a little bit of a pullback and then start pushing up, right? So you can see that you know, it pushed up here to this, got a little bit of a hangman, and then we got this essentially you know, evening star type of pattern, and pull back to this zone here, right? There's some you know, high level, I mean high volume area here that it seems to have found some support, and you can see that some of the short got trapped down here. So so that would be interesting. And right now, you essentially, we could look at this as a potential support. So we'll see. But we also got some long trap up here on the pre-earning. So right now, we want to see would it be able to push through this 2620 area and possibly get back up to a higher level there. Okay, I believe, not sure what I got here. I think these are some of the Fibonacci extension. Let me bring that over to the right because we can't see. Okay, yep. So these are Fibonacci extensions level here, the 2681. Okay, that's the next potential target if we get to this high, this pivot high here. Right, and the other one is Goldman Sachs. Okay, Goldman Sachs, all the financial kind of pull back after this little bit of a, you know, hangman or spinning top here, and then we got this evening star type of pattern, right? So you can see that you know, this is the evening star type of pattern, and so we got a little pullback to this 237.76. And now we got the little hammer, so we'll see would it be able to get a little bounce here and bounce it back up, because I still believe the financial still have a little bit more room to run up. Okay, and the other one, I believe it was Morgan Stanley. All right, so again, that also showed a similar price behavior. Okay, let's go and take a look at some of the names that I mentioned. You know, the QCOM, right? You know, so you can see QCOM pushes up to this pivot high and start pulling back. So we might have another opportunity to make a trade here if it come down to this particular zone here. All right, so I did take a trade here and got out somewhere around here. I did not trade the equity itself. I traded some option. I basically got some long cost spread. Okay, so right now I'm basically looking for this thing to see could it get down to this zone here, or maybe possibly get close to it and get a bounce, and that might be the next level to play. So you know, right now it is touching this particular trend line here, so maybe get a little dip and then come back up. All right, so because I want to see could we get this gap fill. That would be somewhere around 56, right? So that's the ultimate target that we initially is targeting on this particular move here. We'll start looking at this this thing here and saying, you know, been you know, kind of hugging this this trend line here, and also breaking this downtrend line. Right, looking for that break. So that's QCOM. If you were in this trade, you should have at least scale out some profit or have some protective stop, trailing stop that kind of mitigate some of the pain here on this pullback. right? But again, like we said, if you do a swing trade, you know, pull back and shake out is a normal course of business, right? You know, you have to be able to, you know, kind of tolerate that a little bit. Otherwise, you shouldn't be doing these a little bit of a long-term swing, and maybe you know your psyche is not fit for this time frame, and you might want to shorten up your time frame a little bit. Okay, so it's all up to the individuals. Trading is a very personal thing. You know, you got a lot of these different personality and characteristic that you have to factor in to find the right, the correct, you know, framework. Say, put it this way, you know, for your trading. And the other one is Salesforce.com. We also saw Salesforce come up, and we're saying that we're looking for this thing possibly once you break this thing here, you know, come up and test this high. So we continue to monitor that. And also Workday, likewise, Workday, you know, came up, and now I got to pull back and you know, tested the support here. Okay, so it's pushing again, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it to continue to move up and put in a new high. Right, and this is auto home, okay, not at home, and it got the pullback. It peaked above this pivot here, you know, this baseline. It pulled back. I think this might be a good location to consider, and basically, you know, put your stop, you know, somewhere below that. That would be one possibility, and play it up to at least back into this zone, okay, and possibly to the high. All right, that might be a little bit of a quick trade. And then here's Chipotle. All right, we're looking at it down here on this little chop, right? You know, talking about it come up to break this this band, this trading band, and now we're basically looking for this thing to possibly push up to this zone here. We got some trap long here that might want to bail, so we want to see could we get rid of those, clear all those weak long, and then come up here to the next you know, trap up here that potentially could be resistant, because there's a lot of long got trapped here, so we'll see. Okay, and so that could be a little bit of a resistance here up above that 350. And then price line, we're looking for this thing to come up, get into the gap fill. So right now it's in the gap fill. We're basically just looking to see would it be able to clear this area here. Okay, so there's some high volume activity there. That's why there's a zone, and that could pose a potential resistance. Right, and here's alchemy. So right now it's pulling back on this you know, this baseline here, and again, you know, that could be a potential trade location with the you know, the stop possibly below the low here, because basically we're getting to this zone here. So we'll watch it for this thing to come up to the zone, clear out, you know, these trap short here, and then get a push back up. Okay. And McDonald, we're saying this Dow stock gonna be coming up to make new high, which it did, and right now it's still looking strong. So essentially we continue to see McDonald to head up higher. And where will it go? So let's say, let me do this, use this extension here. Oops. Let's see. Okay, so right now it's hitting 141, 1618 is 166.94, so basically 190, 167. And if we get up to this 100% of this swing here, that will be 170. Okay, so those are some of the numbers to look at. And on a pullback, it could be on this zone here, right? We could be pulling back at this particular zone. Okay, so that's McDonald. Right, and the other one was Adobe. Okay, also look at Adobe to come up to fill this gap, and then possibly get up to the new high. So right now it is moving toward that direction. It's booked to this zone here, and right now basically see would it be able to come up and clear this zone here into the new high that will be above 158. And then the other one, we talk about the recent IPO snap, right? We say that it held this pivot, okay? And here are the possible trade here on the R&R. And if you have taken a trade somewhere around here with the likelihood of maybe a stop below this pivot low, and essentially it has to move up to R. And we're basically looking at this thing. It could be 7R if we get up to this 100% retracement, on this extension here. Right, so you see that is approaching this 127, essentially filling this gap. Right now it's kind of working its way up to try to fill this gap, and we'll see. Because it is doing a little bit of a consolidation here on Friday, right, after a couple of days of a big move. So we'll keep an eye on that, okay? And Under Armour didn't do too much. It is still holding this this low here, so essentially watch this low here, and if you want to take a trade, consider a trade location here. Then essentially you want to put your stop below this low. So if it come down, make new low, get the heck out, right? Okay, and then we just watch this thing move up and possibly get back up to these potential resistance zone. This got some trap early long here. A lot of people came in over here, and so they kind of chase it, and so probably could see maybe get a little bit of a resistance. Some of these long holder probably will bail and push, put a little bit of a selling pressure. But as soon as we clear that, if the market could clear that, then we're basically looking for this thing to come up to this $17 level. Okay, so that's basically a review of the stock that we mentioned last week, okay, and the previous week. Let's take a look at a couple new one here. I basically have some agricultural, stock here. I believe this might not be, I think this is Aquium. Let me see. All right, but anyway, we're basically looking at a little bit of a flag here, breaking out of this flag, and here's a zone where some of the trap long here got a big spike here. So we're going to see with the price be able to come up, test the high, and push it through. All right, so if we take a look at the major move on this flag here, let's say, come up here and do a little bit of a major move. And if it's a 618, it'd be 113, and if it's 100%, then it will be 118. So that would be between 113 and 118 would probably be somewhere around there if this thing is going to come through and break above this this pivot here. All right, okay. And then the other one is Mosaic, okay. And again, we're basically looking at this. It came down, kind of hugged this little bit of a trend line, making higher low, and it kind of pushes through here. Right now, it came up to this pivot here. Okay, so we'll see if this thing could push through and possibly get up to this near the 25 level. All right, so it is in a little bit of a resistance zone. It also got a little bit of a aggressive long here, so anxious long, not aggressive, anxious long here that might have got trapped. So we might see a little bit of a selling from these guys to get out. So we'll see. Maybe they are still holding it, then they might be able to have enough patience to hold to, and the buyer continue to push up this the prices up to to this 25 level. And potash, okay, again, it's pretty much like the Aquium, right? Got a low flag, and it kind of pushes through. We have these trap long here. So again, we're going to take a look at the extension, the major move for the bull flag, okay, and you can see 618 is 2036, and 100% is 2130. Right, so basically looking at prices between these area here. Okay, so that's potash. Let's see, what else do we have? Probably just leave it at this right now. So good luck, and be patient. The market could be a little bit of jittery, because I think we're seeing a little bit of a potential pullback, right? Because some of the price action seems to indicate that, and then we got this contradiction, the counter move from the potential earning report. So just be careful during earnings season. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like by clicking on the thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber of my YouTube channel, please click on the subscribe and subscribe to my video channel. Thank you for watching.